So at some point in this video, it's going to make sense to you why I am here doing what I'm doing, apart from me just wanting to get out and fly. Someone said that this is the best video game they've ever played is FPV, so that's why I enjoy it so much. But today I want to talk about the future of retro gaming. Baldly Rudy saw a post about Iron Neo and how they were celebrating 2,000 units, and even for an expensive device, that is like, that's abysmal, that's terrible. And I want to talk about that because is retro gaming in decline, and are we going to see this whole thing kind of bottom out?
If only there was a way for me to get rid of these buttons and flatten this out and all of that. Do you have the same problem on a regular basis where you end up with these random projects and you don't know what to do with them? PCBWay are the sponsor of today's video. You can go onto their website and organize 3D printables, like have them made, or you can have it CNC'd. Like for instance, for my FPV drones, I can have a carbon fiber frame CNC'd by them and have it packaged and sent to me. 3D printing, all that stuff can be done on their websites. All your specs go onto the website, so go check it out. PCBWay, thanks so much for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate your support. Back to the video.
So for example, this H700 series of devices, like they're pumping out the devices, but also every single device is kind of a hit, isn't it? And that's what's so amazing about all this. It annoys me, the amounts of devices they're pumping out, because like, is it sustainable? Where is it headed? All that sort of thing. Because if you think about it, we've got the SP, all of those devices, even the 40XXH, they're really nice devices. And we've got new devices on the way, like possibly an XX Cube, sort of an RGB 30 competitor. So they aren't stopping, and I have a feeling they're going to get through the sort of low tier series of devices and then move on to premium devices. So Anbernic are not seeing an end in sight, and maybe there's something they know that we don't know. And with all these custom firmwares and that, we kind of not seeing a slowdown, because it's those devices are just getting better and better because they've stuck to the same chipset set, you know what I mean? So the only real downside is kind of where is it all going, But in terms of being a retro gaming enthusiast and being a retro gaming YouTuber, like, it's kind of a great time to be alive, And then I want to talk about the mid-tier range, because as a YouTuber, what I'm seeing is a really good influx of views about my Retro Pocket 4 Pro, my guides regarding the Retro Pocket 4 Pro. I'm getting like quite a few affiliate link sales, which is kind of something that I've always thought is going to happen, is that the evolution of the person who buys an RG353P or something to that effect, they're going to want something more. They're going to want to have something that plays more things, that can do more things, that feels more premium. And that's where the Retro Pocket 4 Pro comes in. That's where these more sort of mid-tier, more premium devices come in. And so I think that side of the industry is going to grow more and more. It's like the sort of poor man's Steam Deck. And so I think that side of the market is going to stay quite healthy for quite a period of time. And then we've got a few like retro consumers who might end up buying an ROG Ally or a Steam Deck. But that is the rare few, I think, because it's so expensive in terms of like the quantity of numbers. But that is kind of the evolution of the consumer in this retro gaming space. So it's windy, I don't know, my hair's looking good. And here's where this whole thing, it's the reason why I brought you out here today. I started my YouTube journey with drones. I was like heavy into drones, specifically GPS drones, and then I discovered this whole world of toy drones, and what I'm doing now is FPV drones. And the similarity is so uncanny to this little retro gaming world that we found ourselves in. Like, even my favorite YouTuber is from Hawaii, just like Russ is. And what happened was, drones were all new, they were very exciting, and then Chinese manufacturers started to pop up all over the place, making specifically GPS drones was my interest, and a company called Hubsan. So just like Anbernic, they were pumping out these really nice little toy drones that could lock position in the sky and you could do sort of DJI-like experience. Does it ring a bell? It copies what the mainstream stuff does for a lot cheaper. Maybe not as good, but like fiddly and nerdy, like perfect for me. And a lot of nerds got into that, the GPS toy drone world. That industry bottomed out very quickly. Like what happened was, and I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but DJI kind of took over the whole space. They flooded the market with drones that were just way better. And so for a bit more money, well, it was a lot more money, but like considering what you got for your money, it was just way more cost effective to buy a DJI drone and get really cool camera footage than buying one of these janky toy GPS drones. And you know, similarly to buying a Switch compared to buying one of these emulation devices, which one do you go for? Because the Switch is more expensive, but it's legal and it's the real deal and it's sometimes better. But there's where the argument kind of falls flat, why this is not exactly like the whole Hubsan thing. The Switch experience and retro gaming, it's a different landscape because we are emulating those old games and Nintendo are just stubbornly not making them available legally. You know, the only way that this industry is going to bottom out is if Nintendo makes that entire library available affordably on the store for the Switch, which is just not something that I think is going to happen. So I think we're safe in terms of the whole industry bottoming out, but I do think there's a definite slowdown. Like why I say that is because TechDweeb said something to me. He said, what is retro? And retro is just going to change as people get older, but also the console world is kind of not dying out, but it's peaked, you know? And so where do we go? Like how many retro systems are there going to be for people as they get older, if you follow my train of thought? But I do think inevitably Anbernic sales will slow down. I think they'll be relegated to a few select models that are working really well. You know, like the Anbernic SP, I don't see that thing dying out anytime soon. It's just such a good device, and I think it's going to stand the test of time unless Nintendo sue them or something like that. So devices like that I think are going to survive. But I think devices like the Steam Deck are going to become commonplace as people kind of get into the hobby and get into the scene. They're going to be like, well, I can do everything on a Steam Deck and I can plug it into my TV, turn it into a console. So I think devices like the Steam Deck are going to become more and more popular and more mainstream, and that will eat into the more premium scene that Anbernic would try to enter. I wonder if Anbernic aren't working on a powerful Windows handheld as we speak, you know, because I think that's where everything is going. But as TechDweeb said, what is retro? And retro is going to continue to evolve, and we're going to continue to see new innovations and changes in the retro scene. So let me know what you think. Obviously, this is a very, like, a mildly educated assessment, and you might have deeper insights into this. So let me know in the comments. And let me know what you thought of my FPV skills while I talk to you in the field on my own. A couple of people have been watching me here and there. I'm just going to fly a little bit. The HD camera died, so you are looking at what is called the DVR footage. And now I am just having a little bit of fun with my little drone. Whoops. Oops. This is what they call, how did this dude not know he has ADHD?